Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Candid Coach Conversations. I'm Kimberly Boyd, founder of Live Life Fully, and I want to welcome LaStacie Alexander-Johnson today. LaStacie, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you. I am wonderful. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm LaStacie Alexander-Johnson. I am a LPC associate as well as Live Life Fully certified coach.
Yes. And I'm so glad you're here today. I always love seeing you and talking with you because I learned so much. And recently, we've been talking about reflection and being a sponge. And then talking about agendas, whether it's your agenda, somebody else's agenda, and how to keep that all separate. And so to start, I'm thinking I'd love for you to share when you think of a sponge and you being a sponge, and then people that you work with being a sponge, if you'd share what that means to you.
So good. When I envision a sponge, I see my kids' cartoons, right? But just this act of wanting to draw in everything that's around the good, the bad, the happy, the sad, how to process, how to engage. And for me, that is the sponge. And right now, what I'm experiencing as I walk in my sponginess is that as I continue to learn and grow, what does it mean to be LL fully certified coach? Is how to bring connection to people. And I do that by experiencing all of our coaches and walking through my own coaching as well, embracing it, living it from the inside out. So that is sponginess to me.
Love it. And so you mentioned connection. I am curious, what makes connection so important to you?
I have found that oftentimes when life starts to life on us, we self isolate.
Oof. Okay.
And my growth has taught me that I can usually walk my way through lifing better when I have someone connected to me. It's almost like a tether to the positive in the world. Right? It gives me the reconnection to say that, yes, I'm allowed to feel wholly where I am, but I also have another path that I can get to as well. I can choose to live in my darkness or I can choose to live in the light. And so that's what the connection has allowed me to kind of learn and to continue to give to to my clients as well.
I think that's so beautiful. Beautiful connection. I love connection. I love connection. I love people. I love being in community with others. And I know we've talked about that before as well. When we are in community, whether it's like minded individuals or not, it's always a place for me, at least, where learning happens and that social learning piece. Gosh, I just love it.
Yeah. I mean, there's this way where we either learn how to behave in a situation or we can learn how not to behave in a situation. But either way it goes, we get to learn, right? Either way it goes. And it's amazing because both of them are accurate, but both of them can also be inaccurate at the same time too. Two things can be true at the same time. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Two things can be true at the same time. And I love holding space for both.
Yeah.
So, when thinking about your sponginess and community and connection and two things being true, that makes me think about reflecting and thinking about being in situations where you can learn what to do and learn what not to do, or at least how you want to behave or be and how you don't want to be. I think we have examples of that around us all the time. And so, for you, do you have like a reflection practice in your
Yes.
life?
Yes. So, um, this is something that has definitely been developing for me prior to Live Life Fully. I don't think that I reflected as much as I do now. But yes, definitely my morning practice is usually grounded in me doing my meditation, kind of bringing in my day, looking at what am I growing, what am I how am I growing, how am I showing, and how am I showing up, right? There's also the space of, I internalize spiritually, and so a big thing that I've started to question myself with was, what aroma am I leaving with it? Because we talk about burning offerings or burnt offerings for God, and they were designed to be pleasing aromas for God. So I want to always leave a very pleasing aroma when I walk out of a room. And it's not just about my fragrance, but I want my personality, my smile, my intake. How do I present myself to you? So leaving a pleasing aroma is always my biggest mindset. And from there, in the evenings, I've started practicing gratitude. So I try to find three things that's throughout the day that I can sit back and reflect on and say, you know what? This was amazing today. This was amazing today. And this was amazing today. And I do my best to do something different every day. Because if we think by the end of the year, that's over 1,000 things you've been grateful for that you could have missed if you didn't. So that's my reflection piece in how I've been showing up for myself on a regular basis.
Gosh, yeah. Okay. Honor you for the decision that you made to establish a reflection practice.
Mhm,
Okay. So I do want to push a little bit here. Talking about your evening reflection practice. So you said you try to come up with three things.
mhm.
So here lately, I've been in these discussions about the word trying because people say all the time, I say it too. Like, well, I'm trying to do XYZ. The fact is, if we're trying, that means we're doing something. So we're actually doing it. And
Yeah,
so if we could say, like, I am coming up with three things every day, our brain, well, first of all, it builds confidence, that whole ability to figure things out. And it teaches our brain, like, I'm capable. I don't have to,
love it.
I am doing the thing. Oh,
Mhm.
so that's a little bit of a push that I'd love to see you change that wording a little bit to I am coming up with three things or making that decision. I will come up with three things to be grateful for each day.
That just my brain just went like, "Huh?" Because you also talk heavily about choosing, right? Like, so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so let me rephrase. Like, I choose to identify three things every day that I'm grateful for.
Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
So beautiful. Now, the other push is talking about, okay, so this was amazing, and this was amazing. And this might sound really weird. I don't know. Forget I said that. I'm not going to label it or judge it. Sometimes I have found that I have truly been incredibly grateful for some of the hardest moments of my life.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yes.
And some of
Yes.
those moments were not amazing. They actually sucked. And in the military, and I know you were in the military, and I thank you for your service, was
Thank you.
every part of me because I think people that are in the service are I don't even have a vocabulary. So I do thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And as they say in the military, or at least I've been told, embrace the suck.
Hurry
So,
up and wait.
yeah. So those amazing things I think are super important to identify in that gratitude reflection. And there might not have been anything amazing. Like I've had days where it would have been a real, I guess the amazing part is that I was still breathing at the end of it. So that was nice. And sometimes I have not even recognized the blessing, if you will,
Hmm.
until I don't know, a week, a month, or
Years.
3 months later when I realized, dang, wow, that sucked. And it was really hard. I'm truly grateful that it all happened because it did change the trajectory of my life.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about it. I want to say that think 2 retreats ago. Think
Okay, so
for
that was
our
planting seeds.
planting seeds. I believe Coach Maggie presented on whether or not you had a drizzle, a thunderstorm, a rainstorm. Like, was it hailing? And how often we put these labels, and then when we go back and reflect over it, we realize what we thought was a thunderstorm, we would now reclassify as a drizzle. Isn't that amazing? But when you're in the moment, you're like, I am drenched. I am in a downpour. Like this, there's nothing about this is going to be okay. And it
And hurricane.
yes, I am in the eye of the storm. And so I love when we were able to present that at the retreat because it definitely helped me reclassify as I'm going through things now, as I'm looking at events now. I'm really able to kind of internally categorize what is this experience? And is it truly a downpour like I think? Because I've already made it through every downpour that I thought I was gonna like I already wasn't gonna survive. I've already survived it. So is this really that? Okay, calm down. Calm down just a little bit. It's okay.
Right. Which I think is which makes it even, I don't know, validates the importance of the reflection piece
Yeah.
and journaling because it does give us that opportunity to go back. Like maybe we're in a hard season and we can go back and be like, I forgot about all of this leading up to today, and I am still standing. So I do think journaling is so important. I think reflection is so important. So I'm super glad you brought that up. And yes, when we think we're in a thunderstorm, it is true for that
For that moment.
moment.
Yeah.
And once we're on the other side of it, it's like that was drizzle.
Yeah, it was a drizzle. I challenge my clients often to do a success resume.
Okay. Share.
Yes. So with a success resume, they're able to go in and identify every obstacle, every time that they won when they were told that they weren't supposed to, every barrier that was put down in front of them, and identify how they've overcome each and every one. And so when the next obstacle comes up in front, we're able to look back and say, okay, I've already made it over all of these ones. I don't have to be afraid. As I told you before, I am the queen of do it afraid. And I can do it afraid because I have a long success resume. And every time I've done something, I've been able to conquer. So it gives me an opportunity to always remind myself, you can do this.
So when it comes to the people who doubt you,
Mhm.
because we all have people in our life that doubt us. And so what do you say to yourself regarding doubters?
Man, I used to give my doubters so much attention, and now I choose not to. I used to give so much attention. I was so concerned with what someone would say about how I'm doing it, what it looked like. Now I don't think doubters show up. External doubters don't. My internal doubter shows up. And
Okay.
that's where Queen of Do It Afraid comes in at. However, I don't think the external ones play as heavy of a role in my life anymore. I think they're kind of like they're my motivation a little bit because it's like, "Oh, you don't think I could do it? Okay." Like, "Okay." Like, it's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna show you."
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That makes me think of my friend, Christian Moore. So he created the curriculum Why Try and then the resilience for youth. And in the resilience curriculum, there's four different types of resilience. Anyway, one of them is that street resilience. And it's like, tell me I can't, and I will show you that I can. Yeah.
Yes.
So I do want to know, LaStacie, you say the doubters don't show up as much anymore, if at all. And I love that for you, 100%. And what created the shift? What was that demarcation line where you said doubters are not part of my world anymore?
Really, the start of me doing my success resume was a huge, huge thing because you can't doubt me if you don't know what I've already overcome. So you're doubting me over the image that you see now, but yo, if you see all the other stuff, you would know that this is nothing. So I think that was a huge road for me in recognizing within myself my own ability to achieve what I want. Second thing that I would probably say, and that is definitely getting connected with women who are doing amazing work. Like, seeing you and how amazing you are as a serial entrepreneur. Like, all the hats that you wear, I'm like, "I could do that." Yes. Like, when I see other coaches and I'm like, "Yeah, I could do that." And to often realize, like, I have prayed for a full plate. I've prayed for it. And to realize that I wasn't supposed to have a plate, I was supposed to have a platter is
Yes.
so much like, "Ooh, man." But I woulda never thought about turning my plate into a platter if it wasn't for women walking around with platters themselves. And so having a community, having connection has really just fueled the energy to say, like, whatever is happening, I know that I can overcome it. Someone within our circle, somewhere within our tribe, right, has either have a skill that can help me, can have a word that will support me or have some type of motivation that says, yo, just let's go. Let's do it. Like, right? Stop trying and just do it.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Make
Yes.
that choice. Yes, it's so good. Yeah, so I love that you talked about the plate and the platter because I have been told and I mean, people assume they're like, oh, but I didn't want to bother you because I know you've got so much on your plate. And so before this last retreat in January, that had come up again. And somebody said, well, Kimberly, like you're wanting to do this next project. Are you really wanting to add one more thing to your plate? And I'm like, yes, and that's what I said. I did take a sigh and probably had that look on my face of, "Ugh," and said, yes. And I've determined I don't have a plate. God truly blessed me with a platter.
Yeah.
And so I get to decide where my limits are. I get to decide what my
Mhm.
boundary is. And if you ask something of me or you want to talk or you want to come over or whatever, trust that I will say, not today. Trust that I will say, nope, I'm not going to do that right now. But I get to decide. Like I truly believe we each get to decide what is on our platter or our plate. And maybe
Mhm.
we have a plate and then we have a dessert plate.
You might have multiple
We
plates.
get to decide, and nobody else has to decide that for us.
And, when you're saying that, it really just brings up the idea of realizing what it's like to relinquish the level of control, right? Because we often stop ourselves from our blessings because we're concerned with what the other person may or may not think versus giving them the opportunity and the control in their own life. And so just to relinquish that does so much for us. Yeah, I'm gonna
Gosh.
put it out there, and I trust you to do what you need to and show up how you need to. I think you've said it before, like, "I'm blessed and honored that you asked me
Yes.
to do XYZ for you." Like, that is a blessing to me. So act away. Bring it to me and let me make that decision on how I get to show up for you. Absolutely.
Yes. And if somebody says yes when they really mean no
No.
or not so much, they get to own that. The
Yeah.
person asking doesn't even have to own it.
No, it's not their security. Isn't that amazing?
Is and takes me back to personal freedom. My favorite. Oh my gosh. So good talking with you. Dang. Love it.
This has been great. I love
Mhm.
this opportunity.
Yes. Okay, so if you were going to tell the listeners, this is what I want you to walk away with, what's that one thing you want them to walk away with today?
Ugh. One thing, you get to choose if you have a plate or a platter, and only you get to decide what you put on it.
Beautiful. I love that. Yes. Okay. It's been awesome talking with you, LaStacie, and I do look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Yes, yes, yes. Anytime.
And for everybody that's listening, thank you again for tuning in to Candid Coach Conversations. We at everybody at Live Life Fully is wishing you a fantastic day.
Yes.